Nice. All right. We're looking good. Everything's live. What up, Suns fans? Suns get the win, breaking their 4-game losing streak, this time to the Chicago Bulls. Final score, Suns 121 to the Bulls 117. We got a special guest today, and we have a lot to talk about this Phoenix Suns, and we'll be back in just a second.
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move for Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Devin Booker with the clutch three.
What up, Suns fans? The Suns are back. We finally break our losing streak after a long drought, and we get the win. We're now back to 27 and 29 on the season. And this time we have a special guest. Kyle?
That's right. That's right. I am back, y'all. I am back here for this post All-Star run. This is it. This is where the season picks up. This is where boys become men. This is where pretenders become contenders. This is where teams become champions. I'm here to witness history and for our Phoenix Suns to get it done.
I like your enthusiasm. Unfortunately, I'm just going to come crashing down, and I'm going to say it. It's kind of hard to put faith in my Phoenix Suns nowadays.
This team sucks. I hate this team. That was complete fake enthusiasm. Look, I haven't been on this show in a long time. You know, I got different things in my life going. You know, I'm a Cowboys content creator, so that took up most of it. But also, I just like peace. I like being happy. I like enjoying my life. And when I watch the Phoenix Suns play, those things are taken from me. I am so frustrated with this team. I'm so angry with this team. Look, they won, right? No, you beat the 22-34 Chicago Bulls, and it came down to the final seconds. And again, you have a very competent roster. I truly believe all the pieces are there. I think don't forget, this team went 8-1. This team, the same core, they went 8-1 to start the season. They look great. They look good. They were gelling. And somewhere along the way, they just stopped trying. And I think they're just going through the motions. I watch this team, and they are such a headache. I said that last year. I said that last season. I was like, and you know, when we got swept by the Timberwolves, I was like, I'm so glad this season's over. I'm just tired of watching it. I feel like I'm in the same place now. I have to force myself to watch this team. They are so annoying to watch. Coach Bud doesn't know his lineups, doesn't understand the rhythm of the game, which I thought wouldn't be an issue because we experienced last season with Vogel, but apparently Vogel is 10 times better than Bud, which I'm sorry, Vogel. I'm sorry. I didn't know how bad it was going to be. And Book goes with the motions. He's not an alpha. Look, I love Book. I love Devin, but he is not an alpha. He needs a guy next to him. And KD's not that guy. KD's not an alpha either. He's always needed someone in the same way that Devin needs someone. And Devin was the best when he had Chris Paul next to him because Chris Paul is a leader on the court and off the court, but Kevin Durant is not that. And Brad, I don't know, man.
He's tried his best.
Tyus can't play defense. Richards, I don't know if he plays or if he doesn't play because Bud sometimes only lets him play for a quarter. And Ryan Dunn, a rising star, isn't even getting any minutes. Back-to-back games. Barely even plays. Didn't play tonight. Definitely played only a few minutes the other night.
15
We're just
seconds.
a mess. We're a mess. But hey, we beat the Chicago Bulls.
That's the silver lining. At least we have that. Especially in this now tough part of the season. The Suns' schedule doesn't get any more easier from here on out.
They
We have
have
to
one of the
get
toughest schedules.
exactly. We have to get every win we can. And apparently I saw some sort of like interview question about Bud and his lineups, and he said like they had to come together to get their like group of people to always go towards to start winning games because you have to tighten things up. All right, Suns a mess. You said it. The Suns are a mess. They got to tighten things up. But we just got to face reality. Even this 7 people that Coach Bud trusts still can't get the job done. And it's a infuriating cycle because now we have to experiment, but they're not willing to experiment. And that's why we see so much Mason Plumlee and Tyus Jones minutes when Ryan Dunn should really be getting some minutes down the stretch of this game.
Yeah, I mean, we could really get philosophical about this. I mean, it really is a representation just from head to toe, ownership to coaching to team to the players. It's just a failure in all facets. It's Matt Ishbia, although I love his aggressiveness. I love his willingness to win is not the critique. Like he's obviously since coming in, he's done his best, tried his best, thought he's been doing his best to get a winning team, but there's a part of it where like there needs to be patience and you need to rely on other things. And I mean, that's one part of it where it's like there's no patience with Ishbia to let these things gel. He's very quick to make moves to like fix things. And that's just not the reality of the NBA. Like the NBA, you have to draft well. Player chemistry and team chemistry is a major thing. And, when you're going with a different head coach in a second straight season, I mean, when you think about it too, Kevin Durant in his time in Phoenix, he's had 3 different coaches in 3 different seasons. Started with Monty, went to Frank Vogel, now he's with Bud. And it's just, you don't win championships that way. And you don't, as the seasons are going on, we're getting further away from the goal. First year, we went to the second round, got knocked out by the Nuggets, who became the champions. Last season, we got swept in the first round. And honestly, it just doesn't look, unless they miraculously put it together, which as much as I hate this team and I hate watching this team, like I still think the potential's there. Like I still think they can win. I know they can win. It's just whether they choose to do it or not. And I'm complaining about Ishbia and I'm complaining about the coaches, but at the end of the day, it's also on these players. Like these players are just lazy. Like it looks to me like they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the effort, the hustle. Because most of the time it's lackadaisical what they're doing on the court. They're going through the motions. No one's boxing out. They're not doing the simple things that you should do as a basketball team and as basketball players. And sure, let's talk about Ishbia. Sure, let's talk about the coaches. But I also just don't like these players. I don't like their attitudes. I don't like how they play the game. They don't mesh well with each other. They are the most expensive team in NBA history, and they are one of the worst teams right now in the NBA. So I got problems.
Yeah. Wow. It's definitely a terrifying picture when you paint it like that. It's this team's just become full of mercenaries, and I don't fault for fans looking back, especially with All-Star break, just having a break away from this Sun season, and just to look back at how far we fell from grace. It's I'm ready for the next move, whether that ends up in a blow up of this team. I'm ready for it. I just want to see something consistent, just a ground level for this team, and I think that could be through Ryan Dunn. Unfortunately, we're not seeing him play any minutes. Only 15 seconds of the second half season so far.
I really got excited, at the beginning of the season. I was very excited to see this team, and I felt like they did pretty well in the draft, with Oso and Ryan Dunn. And it's just like flash forward to now. It's just, we're backing up and we're putting Brad back in the starting lineup. We're pushing Tyus out, which definitely needed to happen. And we're playing Plumlee more. And it's just at this point of the season, you should really know your team and you should really be focusing on making that push. And that's what we kind of did last year. We had a really strong push to get into the playoffs and to get that 6th seed, I think it was. But right now it's just like I don't see it. But hey, man, we beat the Bulls.
Got to take the small wins where we could get them. I said it a lot last episode. This team is a mess right now, but we have each other. we have each other as Suns fans to hold each other through this.
Yeah, it's not really enjoyable. Like, and it's sad because they won tonight, but it doesn't feel like a win because we barely beat a 22-34, now 22-35 basketball team. Like, you went on the road, great. Like, hopefully this can get some momentum because as I'm looking at the schedule right now, Toronto's coming up. Maybe you can beat them. Then you got Memphis, who's actually having a pretty strong season. I don't feel too good about that. Then you got back-to-backs against New Orleans, which I think you should win, but earlier this season they didn't win that one. And you got Minnesota, who's kind of struggling. So, like, if they're serious about this, if they want to get into the playoffs, like, this is a nice cushion to, like, maybe jolt something and get something going. But even tonight, like, it wasn't the game I wanted. They started off slow. They were turning the ball over. No one was playing defense. The Bulls shot a lot of threes to keep the game close. And it's like, we won, but, like, we still looked like the same team. There's nothing different besides taking out Tyus and putting Brad back in the starting lineup. But you didn't play Dunn or Oso or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. It's just the same thing even through every game. This team just looks outpaced, competed, just in every aspect. I even for a second, I made the joke to myself while watching tonight's game. It was like they were in quicksand or something. The way they move, their transition defense, it's just too slow out there.
Yeah.
It's not a modern basketball team. They got up 30 attempts from the 3-point line in today's modern NBA, while the Chicago Bulls got 53 and made 18 of those.
Yeah.
It's definitely a learning experience for Matt Ishbia.
Yeah. Yeah, and they just don't have any identity. Like, I can't really tell you what they do best. Last year, I could tell you, there were maybe like, oh, I know if we go to them, like, we feel good about this, but, like, there's no identity with this team right now. And I don't know, man. I'm just along for the ride. We'll see how this finishes. Maybe a play-in, like, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. We do still have a little bit of a game cushion between us and San Antonio, who is the seed below us at the 12th. Phoenix Suns with this win are still at the 11th seed, now 27-29. And we are just a game behind the 10th seed Sacramento Kings, who are 28-28 on the season.
Which is so dumb because they trade away their best player and they're still better than us. Dumb. Anyways.
Yeah. So I think that'll close out the show for us. Next Suns game time will be tomorrow. This is the start of a back-to-back. The Suns will be heading to Toronto tomorrow to take on the Toronto Raptors.
God help us.
Hopefully that one will also be a win, and we don't lose to the 17-39 Toronto Raptors, who are 3-7 over the last 10 games. The Suns are also 3-7 in the last 10 games. It's really bad when I'm not even confident in them about that game. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, we'll be back here with tomorrow with more Phoenix Suns content with you. So thank you again, and we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. Is this
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move from